Hey guys, so today we're going to be doing this cool glam zombie Halloween makeup tutorial. Super excited, it's like literally the coolest look I've ever done, and the best part is that all of the prosthetic materials we use are something you already have at home or something you can make with stuff you have at home. So first we're going to be laying down a little quick layer of some regular white glue right under the eye. That's so we can make that little ripped eye thing I had going on in the beginning. And this is just going to be a base for toilet paper. We're basically just going to be ripping up little pieces of toilet paper and laying it down over that glue in kind of a rounded shape, but you don't have to worry too much about it being perfect because we're going to cover it with other glue and also makeup and stuff. So don't worry about the edges being perfect. Just make sure that you can peel it up from the top. Don't worry about the bottom so much. Just make sure that it's kind of in like a crescent shape so that it peels in like a rounded manner. But you're basically just going to do a couple layers of this. You're going to put down toilet paper and then layer more glue over it and lay down toilet paper and more glue, and you're basically just like paper macheing your face, which is weird, but it comes out looking really cool, and it's so easy and cheap. You don't have to buy any like weird spirit gum or anything. This worked just as good, and to be honest, I just don't want to spend money on stuff I'm only going to use once a year, to be honest. And now we're going to be taking this cool stuff I made out of just petroleum jelly and regular white flour, and this is going to be the base for our like scarred mouth. And so first you're going to just lay down a quick layer of glue just so that petroleum jelly flour mix kind of sticks, and then you're just going to lay down a hunk of it and basically just play with it until it's the right shape. This stuff is very pliable and very soft. It's almost a little too soft, so if you want to make it less soft, just mix in more flour than petroleum jelly, or just put some petroleum jelly and then keep mixing in flour until you like the consistency, because petroleum jelly is basically just grease, so the more flour you put in it, the less greasy it'll be, which is probably better to be pliable and like stick to your face and stuff. So yeah, just play around with that and like smooth out the edges so they kind of blend into the skin, and just play around with it until it's perfect. And I took some that glue brush we were using just to smooth out the edges a little more because my fingers weren't doing it. And then I took this manicure stick and I just basically drew the little gash in my mouth with it. And you could just pat out the edges with your fingers if it gets messed up or whatever. It's really easy to play around with. And then after that, we're going to take some regular like translucent powder and set it just so that it's kind of smooths out the edges, and it also makes it a little less sticky so it's not moving all around when you do the rest of your makeup. So yep, just powder it. You can use a whole bunch of powder, it doesn't really matter. And don't worry about that line getting messed up because you can always go back in and fix it again. So now we're going to be doing that face like boil wound. And so we're basically taking that glue base and just putting it down in like a rounded shape, and leave the center open because you want that to be the point where you can like peel up the skin later on. So you're basically just doing the same thing you did with the eye, just layering toilet paper and then laying down glue and flattening down the edges and getting the whole thing gluey so that more toilet paper sticks. And this one you really don't need to worry about if it's a perfect circle or whatever. You just need to leave the center open so you can peel it up later on. And it really doesn't even have to be that big of a space. You just need something you can stick tweezers in so that it'll peel up. And you're going to want to let these toilet paper and glue wounds dry completely before you start peeling them, because then they're just going to get all messy. I put my blow dryer on cool and just blasted it all over my face for a while, and that did the trick. You could dry it in between layers, but that would like take forever, so I just blow dried it and it was fine. So now that it's dry, you're going to take some tweezers and peel up the eye like wound thing. Be careful because that's a very gentle area. So just take your time with it and be really slow and don't gouge yourself in the eye. And then after I was peeling this, I realized it would probably smarter be smarter to do my face makeup first, so I mixed this cream foundation, a BB cream, and these two green and white cream makeups to make this disgusting putrid green color, and I put that all over my skin with one of these wedge sponge. You can get like a pack of 1,000,000 of them at like any drugstore, and they come in great handy for Halloween makeup because you don't want to be messing up all your brushes with nasty colored foundations. So yeah, you're just going to put that all over the skin and over the toilet paper so it blends in, and over that scar so it blends in. And yeah, and don't worry about like the toilet paper we already peeled up. You could leave that until after. I would just made a mistake, but you could just get around it. It's really not that difficult. You can flatten it out again to get the makeup all under it and then peel it up again if you want. But yeah, I basically just went all over my face. You could also take it down your neck if you're showing your neck with your costume. So then yeah, I peeled down that skin again because when I was putting on my makeup I flattened it, and then I went in on the boily round wound and peeled up that, and it was pretty easy because I left that center open without any paper. If there was paper you would have to like rip it all up and it'd probably make a mess, so just leave that center open because it'll just make it a lot easier. And if you find it easier to use your fingers to peel it up, you can do that. It actually does it a lot quicker, but whatever, it doesn't matter. And then I just went around with some more of that makeup I mixed before just to get all of that, all those white edges covered. And then after that, I set my whole face with powder because this cream makeup is really super slick. So anytime you touch your face for any reason, it's going to wipe right off. So just set it so that it doesn't wipe off and you don't have to go back and fix anything. It just makes it a lot easier. And you can basically go crazy with this powder because the stuff is super slick, so you need a lot. Now I'm taking this red cream makeup that came in this like Halloween makeup set that I got at Duane Reade, Walgreens, something like that. I'm taking the red color on this small shadow brush and I'm basically going inside of those two toilet paper wounds that we made. And this is just going to make it look all bloody and gross and like the skin has actually been torn. And then after that we're going to take this purple color and mix it in there just to make it look like a little deeper, have a little more depth and all that jazz. You can really play around with like a whole bunch of different red lipsticks, like a darker one, a lighter one, purple lipsticks. You don't have to get cream makeup. You can basically just use any creamy product you own that come in these colors. You can use some brown eyeliners, gel liners, doesn't matter. As long as you get it the right color that you want, just a deep red with a lot of gooiness going on. Now I'm taking this felt tip liner and I'm lining around the edge of those wounds just so it looks like they're really deep set and in there and really creepy and all that. Just make it look as gross as possible. And then I'm taking that brush and blending it out so it's not too defined. You want to make it really look real, basically. And then I went back with some more red and purple makeup just to blend them all together, and I liked the way it came out. And don't be worried if you get any of that blood on the outside of the wound. That actually makes it look a lot better, and I wish I did more of it. But yeah, basically get the stuff everywhere, because if you have a wound like that, you're going to be bleeding all over the place. So now I took this sponge that came with one of the cream makeups, and it's more airy, so it's going to give you a lot more texture in the wounds. It's just going to make it look a lot more real and like torn skin. Now we're going to take some fake blood on that more airy sponge, and we're just basically going to pat it inside the wounds. This is going to make it look really wet and like it's actually bleeding and really gooey and gross, and basically the more blood you put, the better it's going to look. So, and you could definitely dab it around the edges of the wound because then it'll make it look like the skin is all irritated and stuff. So now I'm going to go back and define that scar around my mouth a little more because it kind of got padded out before. Now we're going to take that same felt tip liner and go in that scar and make it look really deep set and gross just like the other wounds. Now I'm going to take a red lip liner and go right on top of that to start making it look bloody. And don't worry if it gets all gooey and messy, you can always just pat it out and fix it later. It doesn't really matter. And now I'm going to take that red cream makeup that we did for the other wounds on the edge of this sponge, like the more pointed end, and just put it straight into that wound, and this is going to place the color and blend it all at the same time, make that scar look really irritated and all that. So, yep, and you can use the other end of the sponge to just blend out the scar again if it gets too messy. I'm also taking that red in the corner of my mouth because obviously the corner of your mouth would be bleeding if this were to happen. And now I'm taking some fake blood and putting that on there just to do the same thing like the other ones, make it look irritated, make it look gooey, make it look just really gross and disgusting. And now I'm fixing up any edges of the scar that got messed up. This is going to happen a lot, but if you get like regular scar wax, it won't do it, but I don't want to pay that money. So next we're going to take this bright pink like hot pink lipstick, and this is going to be the glam portion of this look, and we're basically just going to put that on like we got bit by a zombie at a photo shoot and we're fancy. But you can pick any color lipstick you want. I just love this lipstick. It's Fuchsia Fever by Maybelline. And then I'm going to take that red cream makeup and that black eyeliner and put it in the corners of my mouth to make that scar look like it is really irritating my mouth and stuff. And so now we're taking some more blood, putting it in the corner of the mouth, and yep, just blending it and blending it as much as you can to make it look as cool as possible. Now for eyebrows, any Glamazon is going to have really defined eyebrows, so to make it zombie-like, I decided to fill in my eyebrows with a really dark gray color as opposed to like an actual eyebrow color I would ever use, and I think it did the trick. They still look amazingly defined, they just look like dead hair or something. And now we're just going to do a pretty simple eyeshadow. I'm just taking like a brown color in the crease, like a medium warm brown in the crease, and just blending that out all in there. This is going to be pretty messy because you are a zombie. Now I'm taking a really deep brown on this angled shader brush, and I'm putting that on the very outer corner and blending it into the first half of the crease. Now I'm taking this big fluffy brush and blending everything out, and yeah, just blend it out. I think a zombie would have very blended makeup, so do that. And then I went back with that deep brown just to deepen up the outer corners because I figured a zombie is going to have pretty smoky eyes. Then I went in with a really white color to highlight the brow bone because it would be stark on normal people, but on zombies it looks just right. And then I took that same like white color and put it all over the lid just to make it more like stand out a little more. Then we just did some more blending, added some more dark shadow in the outer V, and blended everything once more. And then I took some of that gray shadow from my brows and kind of sunk in the corners of my eyes along my nose, kind of contouring, but really just trying to make myself look a little more dead. And then I quickly put on, well, not actually quickly, just quickly in this video, put on some winged liner with that same felt tip liner we were using before. Oh man, I made such a mess, but if you're not on camera, you can probably do it a lot better than I did. Yep, and then magically put on some false lashes and mascara because any glam zombie would have those. And now I'm just taking, for final touches, just taking that red and purple cream makeup and sponging it on to make like a big head bruise, and then putting some fake blood because you know any zombies bang their head into anything. And then I did the same to like the side of my nose and on my chin. And you could basically just do whatever you want with this part. You can make some like wrinkles or cracks in your skin, or make yourself look a little more gray or purple. You can do whatever you want with the rest of the skin. I was just kind of over it at this point. I wanted to be done. It took a really long time. But yeah, after you're done with that, guys, you're all done. And yeah, just make it your own. Do whatever you like. I just wanted to show you my techniques for making wounds and stuff. And this is basically the finished look. You don't even have to do this like a glam zombie. You could do this like a regular zombie and just make it a little more intense. But I love you guys so much and hope you liked this Halloween makeup tutorial. Give it a thumbs up if you did. Comment down below letting me know you did. And subscribe to my channel if you're not already. Bye!